This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast with Mike Kinnett and Ryan Herbert of ProStatus Financial, now celebrating 20 years helping families build successful retirements and lasting family legacies. Mike is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in tax and 4-time Amazon best-selling author. Ryan is a 5-star Wealth Management Award winner and top-ranked financial advisor by Forbes. Now, the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast.
Hey, thanks for staying with us here on the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast, now available to you on YouTube as well. That way you can listen and watch on demand. Mike Kinnett is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in tax and 4-time Amazon best-selling author. Ryan Herbert, who joins us on this segment, is a financial and tax planner and 5-star Wealth Management Award winner. Also, Lawrence Kiely, who is really the sharp-dressed man in the entire studio right now. He is also a financial planner at ProStatus Financial. And you know, Ryan, you sat down for this segment and you immediately said, "Hey, man, I'm very underdressed," and I agree with you because Lawrence, the guy's in a tie. He's looking very good today.
I know, that's great. Every single time that, Lawrence and I sit together with a lot of our radio listeners, we sit together and meet with the clients together because, candidly, Lawrence, as Mike said, puts all the plans together, and now he's kind of transitioned to where he's helping me implement the plans, and he comes, dressed like he is. He had a suit coat on earlier. Now he's just got his vest and his tie on. And then there's me with, a polo shirt.
Got polos on.
Just a pullover. And today I'm wearing tennis shoes. So, he's always sharp dressed, and Mike and I always like to kind of goad him about it.
But he's also a gentleman, Lawrence, because you actually dressed down a little bit for us today because you took your coat
off just for Ryan. Yep.
So you are always dressed up to the nines, man. Is this something that you always did as a kid?
I wouldn't say as a kid. As I got into, college, adulthood, was always a big fan of tailoring and wearing suits, and, decided to kind of hone in on that passion and, just like dressing up and very old school in that sense and just wearing a suit.
Well, a lot of our listeners and viewers are business owners, and you also have a business in addition to being a financial planner at ProStatus. So you guys have a lot common there. You're also a tailor.
So yeah, do that for on the side, kind of, I'm like Batman in the evenings. I go and get clients and measure them up and design suits. Yeah.
I love that. So you custom tailor retirement plans, and you custom tailor suits as well. So we're gonna do a separate podcast about that. So stay with us for that. Want to get back to retirement topics here, because we do custom tailor those plans for you at ProStatus, and everything is done all under one roof. There was a story on the Morningstar website, and it looked at 2 financial media stars and their advice about retirement withdrawals. We're always thinking about that. How much can we safely withdraw from our savings? So Dave Ramsey recently drew attention after saying that it was okay to take out 8% a year. This is on a $500,000 portfolio, assuming an average return of 12%. On the other hand, Susie Orman advocates a 3% withdrawal, but no more than 4%. So Ryan, Lawrence, those are 2 extremes here. And I know everyone's situation is different. Is it a bad thing to just be throwing out blanket statements like that?
Yeah, it's bad. And that's exactly what it is just 2 extremes. And, I think with a lot of media these days, it's just hot takes to try to get eyes on or to sell books or whatever it might be. So, with us, what we really want to do is we want to look at the income that you need in retirement, the income that you want in retirement, and see what type of shortfall there may be, and then how do we meet that goal. And, as fiduciaries, we really look at the overall picture, what income you have coming in, what assets you have available to you, and develop a plan around that so you can reach those goals and meet those retirement needs. And, again, as fiduciaries, we present you with information on the different ways to secure that income for your life, so it's not something that you have to worry about, and explain to you the different ways to generate that income, and then present you with the pros and cons of each so that you can make the best decision for yourself.
You've mentioned the word fiduciary twice, but what does that mean?
Really, what that means is that Lawrence, myself, Mike, Catherine, Andrew, Derek, all the financial advisors, all of us here at ProStatus, we have a fiduciary relationship, which means that we have to look out for your best interests. A lot of investment advisors, a lot of stockbrokers, they have what's called, they just have a suitability relationship to you, meaning that they just have to recommend an investment to you that is suitable to you for your age, for your asset level, for your risk profile, whether or not it's the best thing for you. And, one of the examples I can use is Merrill Lynch has their own line of index annuities. They have their own line of variable annuities. Same thing with Mass Mutual or New York Life. Any of those companies, you're going to them for financial advice. And the financial advice that you can get from that individual there can be excellent, but you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt because, just because an index annuity might be the right tool for you when it comes to creating the income, how do you know that if you're working with Mass Mutual, that Mass Mutual product that they're offering is the best thing out there compared to one from the plethora of insurance companies out there, Security Benefit, American Equity, Nationwide? You want to make sure that when you're working with a financial advisor, you're working with somebody who has that fiduciary duty, just like Lawrence says. It's our job to figure out what your needs are in retirement, what your risks are in retirement, and then show you here are all the various ways we can accomplish that goal. If that index annuity is the way to go for you, here are the 4 or 5 companies that are the highest rated with the best benefit out there. Here's the pros and cons to each of them. What makes the best sense for you? And if that's not, the type of advice, if that's not the conversation you're having with your advisor, where here are your options, here are the solutions to the problems that you have, here are the options, and here are the pros and cons of everything, I encourage you to give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Sit down with Lawrence and myself. You can see how well dressed Lawrence is on a daily basis. And, give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. You'll sit down with Lawrence, myself, Mike, and our team here at ProStatus, and we'll put together your very own portfolio protection plan, making sure that you have the income that you need to not run out of money in retirement. But it all starts by giving us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, or you can visit us on the web at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. That's savvyinvestorradio.com.
That income analyzer, and again, thank you for listening and watching to the Savvy Investor Radio Show and podcast. Ryan, the income analyzer, it really shows you what you can start, how much income you can start to generate from those savings that we've worked so hard to accumulate. Do you find that most people, we're throwing around percentages here. I'm going to withdraw 3, 4, whatever percentage that is. Do you find that most people don't even know the percentage that they're withdrawing? They're hoping that they can just pick at their life savings and it's not going to run out.
I mean, most people don't know. They have no idea, really what their income needs going to be in retirement. They don't really have they have a bit of an idea of how much income is going to come in. But, the problem is, like Lawrence said, that Dave Ramsey, kind of what we were originally talking about, Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, they are, media personalities. Dave Ramsey's trying to get you to subscribe to his, Ramsey method or Ramsey way or whatever it's called, where you should pay off all your debt before you do anything else. And Susie Orman, she's trying to sell her books about, how you can be as financially savvy as her.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean,
there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's just what they do. That's how they make a living. And some people find success with that. But, Dave Ramsey recommending, you can withdraw 8% on a $500,000 portfolio, assuming you're making 12% a year. Well, okay. When was the last time that happened? The 80s and 90s up to the 2000 crash? Because if we took that $500,000 and you retired December 31st of 1999, and you said, I have $500,000 in my portfolio, I'm going to take out 5% of that number a year. That's a reasonable amount of money. Well, 3 years later, that $500,000 is now, I think it's like $202,000. Over 3 years, because the stock market went negative 3 years in a row, you lost 50% of your money. Now, instead of taking out 5% to get 50 grand a year, you're taking out 10%. You want to make sure that your income plan works for you and works with the stock market. You don't want something that we're going to be fighting for returns every single year. You want to make sure that no matter what happens in the stock market, you have the exact amount of money that you need coming in your bank account each and every month. You don't want to be reliant upon the stock market. You don't want to be stressing every single day, logging into your accounts. Did I make money? Did I lose money? You want to make sure your income is as safe and secure as possible in retirement. And that is what our income analyzer will show you. It'll show you, here's how much you're spending a month right now. Here's how much income you're going to be generating just off your Social Security loan or your pension loan or rental income. But here's how much money we can safely generate for you in retirement off of your hard-earned savings. And to figure out that number, it all starts with a simple phone call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. You'll sit down with Mike, myself, Lawrence, and our team here at ProStatus, and we'll put together your very own income plan for retirement. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, or on the web at savvyinvestorradio.com.
The income analyzer that you're talking about, and everyone's situation is different, but generally speaking, are people shocked? Are they happy? Are they disappointed with the amount of income that they can, start to generate?
Most people that come in, I would ask Lawrence this question. Most people that come in pretty much have what they need for retirement. And the shock kind of comes in when Lawrence sits down with the numbers and he says, here's what you asked for. You asked for $6,000 a month. But in actuality, if you want to spend more than that, here's your maximum spending number. Here's how much you can spend if you want to die broke, essentially, leaving behind the house, maybe $100,000 to the kids, and you enjoy your money because that's what you saved your entire life for, to enjoy retirement, not to have your kids roll up to your funeral in brand new Corvettes.
Lawrence, what's that look like when you're able to deliver? Again, everyone's situation is different. It's not going to happen to everybody. Depends on your situation. But what does that generally look like when you're able to tell somebody, hey, this is what you want, but actually you've done a great job and you can even go a little bit higher?
Yeah, people get really excited. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've sat down with, prospective clients and we've gone through the numbers with them, and they, husband and wife kind of look at each other and say, all right, I guess we're retiring tomorrow, because they just get super excited about it. And it's really just looking at those numbers, because one of the biggest things we get when people call into the radio show is, tax planning, and then how do I withdraw income? I don't know how much income I need in retirement. So having that conversation around, what is the income you need? What is it that you want? And really honing in on that to figure out and develop a plan for them, and then saying, listen, you can have this successful retirement. This is the income you have and the income you need, and we've secured that income. So then when you want to take that extra vacation or, buy that new car, we've invested assets that you're able to pull from and do that. So it's really developing that plan. And then, like you said, people get really excited when they actually see, all that savings actually come to fruition, and they're able to now transition into that next phase and enjoy it.
Do you guys have a bell, any type of celebration that you do when, God willing, you're able to deliver somebody a message like that and they can finally retire?
We don't, but we might want to think about that.
We should think about that. But we do have a really nice care package or thank you package that we send whenever new clients come aboard. It has, a whole bunch of swag, a whole bunch of ProStatus gear. And, because Mike's a pretty big wine drinker, we pretty much give everybody a bottle of wine and some wine glasses so they can toast to their retirement. That's kind of what we do.
Yeah, and I know how Mike Kinnett rolls with his wine, so I want to retire just so I can get a bottle of that, man. That's good stuff. Hey, guys, thanks again. And let me give those numbers again for you listening and watching today. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, click on the show notes, and that'll get you to Mike, to Ryan, to Lawrence, to Catherine, and the entire team at ProStatus and here on the Savvy Investor Radio. But whatever you do, make sure that you take a step into that direction so that way you can secure your retirement, because you've worked too hard for it. We all have, and we deserve the best. And thank you for listening today. As always, thank you, Ryan, Lawrence, Mike Kinnett, for your time, for your willingness to help us to and through retirement. But as always, guys, you get the final word.
This is Lawrence Kiely. Thank you for listening to the Savvy Investor Radio and Podcast.
And this is Ryan Herbert. We'll see you, the Savvy Investor, next week.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.